is brought to you by visitlauderdale.com.
Oh, we're here. Is that it?
That's what you told me.
No, that's. I thought
First
that's right. We
slogan.
don't get the jingle. We're a little bit. We're here. It's the Lunchbox. It's a Thursday. We're home, and I'm Mike Mayo. I haven't put us up onto the Let's Eat group yet, so let me get my stuff together and welcome Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. We're running around like chicken.
Did you clear up your skin or something? You look quite a bit different than you have the last several shows.
Wait, let's get into that.
What happened?
One second. Hold on one second. We're going to do
Very
a little
nice.
bit of here. We're going to hit the copy link. We're going to do the thing. We're going to get this there. I'll edit this later. Well, yeah. So, hello,
How come
everybody.
you look so good there, Mike Mayo? What happened?
Great. The video's great.
So, this is what gets filed under the. Even though I think I'm technologically advanced, I'm somewhere in between the Lubies and the Defos of the world, and I didn't realize until today that this restream that I wasn't set to the HD setting on it. So,
What is
and
HD?
that's why. Well, all these months that we've been doing the video stream here on the Lunchbox, and Luby and Defo would say you're a little fuzzy. It must be your internet connection. And I was like, no, I have pretty good, strong internet signal. And here we go. It took actually a computer reboot, and then my sound wasn't working, and my Zoom wasn't working, and then I went into the settings on Zoom, and then when I went into the settings on Restream, it showed me, lo and behold, that I was all these months on the low resolution. And now here I am, crisp and clean. And I've got my Enjoy Every Sandwich shirt because, guys, today, I don't know if you realize it, and I didn't realize it because the Ministry of Silly Food Holidays, besides having National Sandwich Month, when I downed 51 sandwiches over the course of August's 31st days, today is National Sandwich Day. It just never ends, does it?
The PETA people were actually upset during the time that you were eating all those sandwiches, saying that it was bordering on animal cruelty. But
Wait.
how do you celebrate a day after you did it for a month, Mike?
Wait, you're talking about PETA, not PETA bread, not PITA.
No,
PETA.
Yeah.
Oh, because the PETA people are upset too, because I tend to favor like Italian hoagie rolls and not so much of the pita bread and the things that we see at the shawarma shops. But yeah, I offend everybody, so that's okay.
No, it's good. So what are you going to? You can't possibly, go back into that whole mode, can you?
I've been running
bologna sandwich there.
No, I've got actually. This is a homemade sandwich that I was running around, and I wanted to be able to get out and get like a restaurant or a sub shop sandwich, but I didn't have time today because my daughter's been sick all week and she's recuperating. She wanted me to go, and I have a nice heartwarming story to start today, and this is something you don't usually see in South Florida, guys. Something that actually restores your faith in humanity. Do you know what was the last time that happened to you, Defo? Do you have anything like where somebody did something?
Yeah, there was a steward's inquiry where I had no real reason to have my horse put up, and they went ahead and disqualified the legitimate winner anyway, and I ended up cashing a nice exacta ticket, and I thought, wow, man's humanity to man right there.
There you go. Either that or the steward happened to have the same action that you did.
Well, it could have been. I might have got lucky on that one, that's for sure.
It's supposed to be above all that. No, this was happening. So my daughter, I texted her. I said, "Is there anything I could bring you? Some soup or something from Publix?" She says, "I want Starbucks. I just need a bagel." And they have this new they have their new Christmas menu out now, and they have something called like a sugar snap almond milk latte or something, sugar cookie almond milk latte. She wanted one of those, so
you actually had the guts to go in there and order one?
No, I go through the drive-through
because people might have recognized you and said, "You're ordering a what, Mike Mayo? A sugar cookie diamond or whatever latte?"
My wife orders. The thing my wife ordered was amazing. When she first explained it to me 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
I went blank. I blacked out for a second, and I was like, "This is a drink you order that they actually give you." It had 17 instructions. I'm like,
when the barista screamed out "Mayo," did a lot of people turn around with like you ordered that? You couldn't have just got a large coffee. I mean, so anyway, what happened?
I go through the drive-through to detect detection, so nobody knows that I'm ordering
Oh,
these
okay, yeah.
pedestrian things, if that makes you happy. And it was rolling through the drive-through where I had my faith in humanity restored today, because I make the
The guy in
order.
front of you paid for your order?
Yeah, the guy.
No,
So
get out of here.
yeah, it wasn't actually a guy; it was a woman. But I roll through the drive-through, and the guy, the clerk, says it's going to be $9.74, and I have my $11 handy to give him a tip. And I pull up to the window, and he goes, "Oh, the woman in front of you just paid for your order." And I was like,
Wearing
"Oh."
a clown mask in the car? Or what,
How they know it's you? Why are they
Yeah.
paying for your order?
Well, Christmas spirit. I guess we're already in the holiday season, believe it or not, November, and it's that pay it forward movement, which I have never been the beneficiary of until today. At
Did
about
you get her license plate? Her number? Anything?
no, well,
I know it wasn't the Mustang. She would have never done that.
so here's the quandary or the dilemma for you. You've got the $11 in your hand. You hear that it's been bought and paid for. What do you do, Jeff Defo DeForest?
Give the guy 10 at least and say, hey, have a nice day. Thank you, man. Did you get
Yeah,
her name?
no, I ended up basically saying, you know what, that is so nice, that warms my heart. I'm gonna pay it forward too. But I didn't ask what the person behind me how much it was. I just said, here, take what I was gonna give you, and here's put $1 in the tip jar. Put
The
$10
person behind
to-
you might have been catering an office party. Been assigned
That's
to
their problem.
pick
And
up
they
like
got
$300 worth of crap.
Then they got $10 off, and they should be
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Oh,
No, I
good.
tried to do,
Why didn't you
the
give
right
it to the
thing.
guy that was working the window? That would have been
Oh,
nice.
I guess that could have been too.
Who
Yeah,
came
you
up
know
with
what?
this? I mean, and how did anybody know it was in effect? You
It,
obviously.
it was obviously somebody much more charitable than me or you, Defo. We would have saved it for the next Exacta box upcoming.
I would have bought a racing form. You had $11 and what? 69 cents. That can
Yeah,
get it
you
in
need
some places.
$12 these days for a racing form, and yeah, we're all well. No, anyway, look, that was just it's something nice that happened that you don't
Yes.
expect, and it was
Right.
like, okay, wow. As much as we badmouth South Florida, the traffic, the drivers, the rude guys who cut you off and take your parking spots, and all this. I was just nice, and I'm just thinking like there's other things people could do at restaurants.
Well, weren't you thinking you should have ordered more? Typical track guy. Oh, geez, it should have paid $8,000. I only got back 300. Are you kidding me, man? This sucks.
No regrets. I
Wasn't
was
one of
not in
those?
it. I had already eaten my breakfast this morning. I had some nice cold cereal, that Special K with the yogurt clusters, and I
Oh,
added some of
geez.
my own fresh fruit, some skim milk. So that was a good breakfast.
You're
I felt
really
good.
losing it, Mayo. You're all over the place here. I mean, what was this? You couldn't just have like a ham and eggs or something?
I like that
No,
in Texas.
I mix it up because we had this discussion yesterday. Some people who have the same thing every day for breakfast or for lunch, and I like to mix it up. And so today
But it's the quasi-attempt at health, I think, that has people wondering where you're coming from. I mean, you're going to commit to this. What are you going to do? I mean, one day you're eating yogurt, the next day you're eating a double knish. Which is it?
Well, it's a little bit of everything because I think
Okay.
that's the whole point, is everything in moderation, and I mean everything. So, I'm not going to limit myself to having some of the fun stuff, the pizzas and the pastas of the world, and then, but some mornings I'll just have plain yogurt with some fresh fruit. Today it wasn't yogurt. It was, have you seen it? The Special K cereal that has these little yogurt clusters in it, which gives only the illusion of health, because let's face it, they're just little sugar bombs.
It's like eating peanut M&Ms, basically, for breakfast.
basically.
Come on, Mayo. Who are you fooling? Hey, where do you weigh in on this? I had this discussion with Lubie. I don't know if you were, tuned in this morning, but this really struck me, and I think it is an issue, and it will continue at least through the weekend when they have the next Powerball drawing on Saturday. But have you ever gotten into a fight with somebody that you're in a relationship with? Maybe the ex, that could be a reason, over the division of Powerball winnings prior to the drawing.
Before you
Yeah,
have
no,
to-
that's
And immediately everybody assumes, okay, what am I going to do with this 1.2 billion? And my first thought was I was going to buy adjoining properties on the Hillsborough Mile and put up, custom-made homes. So if that cost me 50 million a pop, that's 100 million. I still have 700-800 million left to work with. And then I started naming off people I would give money to, and I figured, okay, let me get Lubie out, Mayo, everybody that I know. How much would it be, like, considered okay, 5 million a piece? So even if I turned on 20 people to 5 million apiece, I still have 500 million left. And Mustang looks at me and says, "You're not giving that much money away." And I'm like, no, because I'm never going to have that much money. I couldn't
Cannot
give 20
wait.
people
So
$5 right now. What are you talking about? I mean,
it's
but we got in a fight over it and ended up sleeping in separate rooms.
no, you got to be kidding me.
It
Like
got
you really
heated.
fought over imaginary winnings of
Fictitious
something.
money.
She wouldn't stop because I kept telling her, hey, I mean, you got to bail out your sister or whatever. And I didn't realize she was in a bloodbath type of emotional war with her sister right now over care of her mother, which that can happen in a family. And especially, the women don't necessarily take it like guys do. Hey, I'll take care of mom. Don't worry about it. And she said no, she wasn't leaving any money, no, giving any of this money to her sister. And
Yeah,
then it
wow.
got like into a whole big thing. And I was like, I didn't know you were fighting with your sister. And it escalated from there. And we ended up not speaking to each other until earlier this morning when I waved to her and said, goodbye, get out of here. So
So
this was over potential Powerball winnings. I
right,
don't know if you've ever been in a fight over that.
I try to keep my fights, and believe me, there's plenty of friction and fights to go around in any given week with various people. But I try to keep it rooted in reality of things that actually you should get upset about,
It's
and
amazing.
hypothetical winnings. I mean,
I
imagine
mean,
what Dow.
impossible winnings. Nobody's winning. Nobody
Rem,
won.
rem,
Like
re-
$1 billion is in the pool because nobody can win this stinking thing. And eventually somebody's going to take it down. So you keep throwing your $20 through the window there at gas stations or whatever and saying, let me at least be in the game just in case on a one wild shot that I might become a billionaire. But if I did, I don't care. I'll give away the first 300 million. Well, what's the difference? I still have 500 million left
No,
after
and it's
taxes.
nice to know that in your fantasy world that you're a very generous human being, and
Yeah, because I
we'll
certainly am not
see.
in reality. That's for sure.
No, you're generous. You're very quick with the drinks when we go to our favorite parimutuel on some
Oh, yeah,
Friday
yeah.
expeditions. You've been very nothing but
That's
kind
social
when I.
protocol, though. Yeah, that's
Is it?
social protocol.
No, you
For
believe that some of
everyone.
the people I hang out with,
For
they're,
everyone.
they have those gator arms when it
Nothing
comes to
worse
the
than a
check.
cheapskate at a racetrack bar
It's like
or a
Very good.
casino bar.
they have octopus arms when it comes to your racing
Yeah.
form, but when the check comes for the drinks, they've got the
Yeah,
gator.
nothing. I had one beer. You want to pay for that, Mike? Yeah, I understand that.
So, anyway, well, it's nice that you're generous. No, I haven't had any fights with anybody in my family over potential winnings, and I don't play the lottery. I saw the line stretching out and around the corner at my local Publix on. I guess it must have been Monday was one of the drawings.
Yeah,
And
Monday and Wednesday. So I'm out
yeah, so
$40 so far.
and then yesterday they started to line up, and I happened to be in Publix yesterday too. So, but I didn't do it. I just and usually when it gets to $1 billion, I usually throw $10 into it and just do some quick picks and just say, you never know, you got to be in it to win it. But you know what? It's the biggest sucker play around. Everybody knows that, and but you know what? It's the whole thing of I think it's that line from the movie Diner, which talk about great food movies. That was a great food movie, but it was Mickey Rourke played Boogie, and he was talking to he was in let's say some substantial financial arrears with the bookie, and he finally made a little bit of a score, and he's able to come clean, and but he basically was just I think it was the bookie that said to Mickey Rourke, he says, if you don't have dreams, Boogie, you've got nightmares. So it's nice that this lottery
Hey, you got to take a
jackpot.
shot. The best
V-
food scene Mickey Rourke was ever involved in was in The Wrestler, though, when he was working behind a deli counter.
Oh yeah, when he starts.
And the lady says, I said 3/4 of a pound, and then he just like throws the potato salad at her. It was
Yeah,
great.
he had some little anger issues there, and
Yeah.
hey, but that's a perfect segue. Talking about sliced meats and cold cuts, and it's National Sandwich Day. So lo and behold, what did I put?
What do you have?
I assembled for myself, and it doesn't look very thick. It's not like
It
one of
doesn't look
Tom
very
Tanazzini's.
appetizing either for the
No,
Let's Eat
well,
South Florida group.
here's
Very
what
particular.
I kind of pressed it down. It's a
What is
kind
that?
of
A Cuban sandwich with bologna?
no. This is actually, and this is boar's head roast beef, the top round roast beef,
Nice.
and I got
Okay.
it
That
nice
was
and
on sale,
round.
by the way, at Publix, so I know you were there.
That's where I got it, and got some of the
$12.99 a pound. Is that a little
the
steep?
Tillamook. Yeah, it usually goes for 15 now.
Oh yeah, my God!
So
Wow.
12.99
6
is a
slices for
deal.
15.
So I got it on one of these Martin's hoagie rolls, and I toasted it with the Tillamook sharp cheddar cheese, which is also, I think, on sale at Publix this week. And I got it on there. I put it on there with a
Why don't
little
you
bit
just
of.
have them make you a sandwich while you're at it?
No, because I bought cold cuts yesterday for my mom's lunch today. Now she likes eating these roast beef sandwiches.
Oh,
too.
yeah? Okay,
And I
good.
decided I'd make one.
Does she
for
like the way you
myself.
make them, or does the assistant have to make 'em for her?
Rosemary makes them. She
Wow,
she
she's
has the
really making a
magic touch.
sandwich.
All right, so you're going to scarf that down? Is that the highlight of the show?
Yeah. So now, what would you put on if you had a simple roast
Roast
beef
beef sandwich,
and melted cheddar? I melted the cheddar. I toasted it and put the.
I go
melted
mayo
cheddar.
on that, a little bit of mayo and some pepper. Make it a little bit of flavor there. But mayo would be the way. No ketchup, no mustard on that one.
Well, what I did was a little Hellman's mayo,
All right.
and now I've got my.
You got to
mouth full.
switch to Duke's there. It's cheaper and it's better.
Oh, it's cheaper.
And I'm strictly a Hellman's guy. Hellman's.
You
mayo
keep
is
thinking of David Duke, and it brings about a bad association. But Duke's mayo is good. What is that?
besides
generic?
the Hellman's mayo, my friend Scott from Wisconsin. Every time he goes up to Wisconsin, he brings home some Wisconsin products. This is beer mustard.
It looks like you
from,
stole it out of a restaurant. I mean, by
well,
the
it comes in the
container
squeeze
it's in.
bottle.
Oh, okay.
But this beer mustard is made with a little bit of beer and horseradish, and gives that a little zing. So I got the mayo mustard combo with salt and pepper on the sandwich, and now
Will you
can
find that on the menu of any of the finer restaurants here in town, or is that
No.
strictly a mayo special?
He's like,
the
Mayo special with mayo.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Mhm.
All right, so that's it. That's the show. You're eating a sandwich.
Okay, bye everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow.
Your sponsors are going to be lining up asking for their money back. I mean,
Exactly.
if this is the whole show today, what are you
Let's
talking
not
about?
give them any ideas, Defo.
Yeah.
We don't want to
Well,
plant
you
any
know,
seeds.
For me to
Um,
say something like that is horrifying if you think
exactly.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's just call it a day.
All right, so
sorry, no.
what's
No,
the
no,
bottom
so,
line?
okay.
What are you recommending to people here?
Wait,
What's the
so-
deal on this?
No, but so today is sandwich day, but you know me, I don't like. Sometimes I really do get into the spirit of a national whatever day, pizza, burgers. I'm kind of sandwiched out from August, but I can't be sandwiched out because tomorrow we're going to be in a sandwich orgy. So we're going to be celebrating Sandwich Day one day late
Yeah.
at Seaside Subs, which is near you, Defo, up in Deerfield Beach.
It's not near
And-
me. I mean,
I was
it's
gonna
just,
say, that's not me either.
yeah.
Even now, we still have to drive
Don't try to justify this stuff when you're going for a freebie lunch all the
far
time.
away.
And,
I'm like, no, it's not. I don't live near Deerfield.
yeah.
I got my hot
It's
pickle
a
again.
schlep, yeah. It'd be a lot easier to just sit here and read off a menu. I do have a menu though here. I took a prop out. Actually, the Mustang picked this up when we were at the Tipperary Pub the other night,
Oh, good.
and it struck me though that it used to be if you were going out to eat. Now this goes way back. I mean, you got to remember I'm an older guy, so we're probably talking. It was fashionable. What 40 years ago, maybe. French restaurants were the thing, right? Weren't they? I mean, it was like if you were going out to eat, you were saying, wow, why don't we go to that French restaurant? And French food was big. In fact, French dressing, did they even sell French salad dressing anymore? I don't even know if they make it anymore. What happened to those choices where you had like Russian, Thousand Island, French or Italian, and that was it? Those dressings, blue cheese.
It turned into a Caesar Ranch vinaigrette world. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so that's gone. But I mean, are French restaurants as popular now? There was one, I think it was called a Sage, and it was on Federal Highway, and I want to say
French restaurant was Sage.
between Oakland Park and Sunrise.
That's what
And
Sage was great. That place was
I
great.
like
It was-
that place. I really did. I don't know if they're still in
Not to
existence
be
anymore.
no, it's gone. It's not to be confused with Sage Bagel in Hallandale, which is
No.
also gone. But there was
All right.
Sage French Bistro that was
They did a nice job
operated
there.
by
Yeah,
a guy named Laurent. But you know who got their start in the kitchen there? And I think we've discussed this before.
Tom
Let's see-
Tanazzini.
No, let's see if your 70-year-old brain has any retention left in it.
Wasn't it Joey? Was it Joey?
Joey
Thank you.
Esposito.
Thank
There
you.
go.
Joey Esposito was a chef.
Well,
at
that
Sage
explains it. That's why
before
his food
he-
is so great.
Purchased and took over and now runs the great Cafe Seville. So
They had a nice thing going though too, where it was either Monday or Tuesday night. They had like a 2-for-1 entree night, so they were always very busy on that night, and it kind of had the atmosphere of a French restaurant. Now I've worked in restaurants with a couple of different, high-end French chefs were in charge of the place, so I had some familiarity with it. But I was thinking, geez, I've never in recent years even considered going to like a French restaurant, and so. In the same plaza there as the Seaside Subs is Laval de Loire, which we've discussed.
okay, you confused me. I thought you picked up a Seaside Subs menu. We're going to talk about
No.
sandwiches on Sandwich Day. So now you're
No,
talking about French
sandwich
food.
day. We've had enough already with you slobbering on that sandwich. But
And we'll have more
I was
tomorrow.
curious. I mean, to get your opinion about French restaurants, where they stand, what what's good and what's bad in the category. I don't know about bad so much, but and what do you order when you go to these places, Mike Mayo? Because I'm sure you've reviewed many of them. There can't just be like a handful of French restaurants left. Is that possible? Is it a genre that's no longer popular at all with
Not
people?
only is it possible, that's what's happened. It's kind of
Wow.
like the traditional Jewish deli down here,
But there are a
fading
lot of
away.
those. I mean, you could find one pretty easily. You could find a Jewish deli.
Yeah, but French restaurants, it's just especially the hoity-toity hot French cuisine where it's
Yeah, what
very
happened to that?
expensive, and you have the people in the tux, and you give the here's how old I am. I remember when you'd go to some of those places and they would hand the woman the menu without the prices, which
Well,
you know
it's
we've
always a
seen.
mistake, if I'm on a date, that's for sure.
The whole thing.
And it could be no, they would have separate menus for women who are accompanied by husbands or dates, and it was just the husband is expected to pick up the tab for the
That's
woman.
really outdated. I
and
mean, it's
and
almost insulting, isn't it?
That
well,
is.
no, women do get insulted by that now, especially if it's a couple that happens to be two women. So
Yeah.
then I guess it's a free meal if you go in as
Or it's a
same-sex
woman
couple.
who owns like a major corporation, and they're
Yeah.
assuming that she can't afford to pay for the meal that somebody else is going to pick up the tab, like happened with you at Dunkin' Donuts today, or whatever that was, Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Very
There you go.
nice.
This is his retention. He's remembering a little bit.
I'm
That's
only
good.
teasing you, man, because I can't believe that you're even in the drive-through. You should have gone to Grandpa's and got it a matzo ball soup or a chicken soup, and
No,
your daughter would
she
have been
was sick
already
as
better.
soup.
That's Jewish penicillin.
She's been having all the liquids all week. She just felt like a bagel, and for some reason, much to my chagrin, she likes Starbucks bagels, and it's right around the corner from her
Starbucks
house.
It's like when my grandson only
that's
ate Papa
Very
John's pizza.
strange.
Yeah.
All right, getting back to French food. So yeah, there's still a couple of good French restaurants around. One of my favorites.
Where are you going? I mean, where are you going? if
So
you
I
have
haven't
to-
been to that. What's it called? Val d'Ivoire place or?
Yeah, I'm going to go there. I think sometime in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Give me a couple of things. What's on the menu? Like
Oh, okay. I mean,
Saule
they
Meunier
have
or-
a nice lunch menu that seems very reasonably priced. All right, here are some of the main dishes. Some of them are fairly basic, like chicken breast francaise, calves liver lyonnaise, whatever that
Okay.
is, lyonnaise.
That sounds.
Beef bourguignon, a classic French dish. Beef bourguignon.
Is it with buttered egg noodles? Is it served atop
It's
butter
beef
egg?
stew in a red wine sauce, boiled potatoes and vegetables.
Boiled potatoes.
Filet of sole Meunier.
Yeah, there's the Saule Meunier. That's a classic. With the butter sauce and on
Yeah,
the fish.
yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Skirt steak sauce Marchand de Vin.
Mm.
Frog's legs Provencal.
Oh, Provençal.
Yeah,
Roast
That's
duckling à l'orange.
That's the lunch special.
Nice. This is
These
the
How much
are
do they
lunch
get for the
lunch
frog leg?
items. Yeah, organic
much are the
vegetables, coquette. Prices for lunch and all very reasonable. I mean, they range from $19 for the chicken breast franchise, and it goes. I don't know why this is so expensive. Maybe it's for two. $56 for the Dover Sole Meunier.
Yeah, it's Dover Sole. It's a very high end product. So that's
Wow.
one of those
Okay.
things
As
that's
opposed to like
you should-
any
This is
$56. I mean, that's a $30 juice from their other next most
It's
expensive
a
item.
it's one of those high end items like Wagyu beef or caviar. And when you see Dover Sole, I just start seeing dollar signs start flashing.
They do a lot with
and
mussels also. Mussels, different
mussels
style.
are the poor man's clams and oysters. I don't like
Yeah.
mussels.
I do like mussels.
But the classic French restaurants, they do the moule frites, the mussels with fresh hand cut French fries, and they
Yes,
can be very good. and
that's offered.
satisfying. And that's usually considerably less than the Dover Sole. How much for the mussels? The moule.
Mussels are reasonable here. They have a bunch of different ways that they present them. Let me see here.
Is it market
Mussels,
price?
spicy mussels, $21 a la carte,
That's not
26
bad.
if you want them to throw in a salad, and they give you the
I'd rather
sauce,
get.
which is
get
good also.
the mussels. You want to talk about mussels at Even Keel? They do a Monday bottomless mussel special, and I think it's also for like $24, where you get like all the mussels you can consume.
There are only
And,
so many to eat there. I mean, I don't mind a
Yeah.
regular usually a portion of mussels, like even if it's the freebies at Runway 84, is more than enough, to satisfy you once you get through.
Oh yeah. Just a few is all you need.
Because it's
But,
the sauce and then the
all right.
bread is a big
Well, this
thing.
was absolutely scintillating having you read a menu. Next, I'm going to go get my yellow pages for Hallandale. And,
Well, I'm curious. See, I'm trying to get some information here other than watching you eat a sandwich, because what happened to French restaurants?
we're just giving each other jabs left
No,
and
but
right.
you're the critic. You're supposed to be the sophisticated food critic. And
I am. And I will.
So
I will
where are
give
the
you,
good French restaurants?
There's a
Where
place
are
in
they?
Commercial, and I think it's by American Tapas that we like. We went with her parents, and we went for a special occasion a couple years ago called Frenchie's Table, and it's very small. It's like 6 or 7 tables. You have to make a
Right.
reservation, but they do
All
a
right.
really nice job. They have nice specials. They do like a thing for like $45. You get the whole thing, and they do a really good job. They have some of the French specialties, and they have some more standard stuff. It's really nice, quaint, and they do a really nice job. Frenchie's Table.
Yeah, that's good. And one of my personal favorites that was also a big hit amongst the Let's Eat South Florida group was Escargot Bistro on Commercial Boulevard.
Oh, people love
And
that place.
Oh,
They really
and
do.
it's in the same plaza as Thai Spice. Oddly enough, I've never been to Thai Spice, but I've been to Escargot Bistro many times.
Just the
But
opposite for me.
the news there is that Escargot Bistro recently has been sold, and there's a new proprietors, new couple running the place. For a long time, it was a really charming French couple. It was Didier and her name escapes me because I'm getting
Solange
old too.
Olivier, yeah.
Yeah, so
You could just mumble something in French and people
it
will
was
accept
something
that
with
that
an
was
A.
the
It's
answer.
like
Yeah.
Andrea. It was Andrea. Yeah, that's it. So Didier and Andrea did a great job. I've not met the new owners. I haven't been in there. And anytime a small place like that changes hands, you just hope that they've retained the chef. It was a longtime chef that was working in the back, but also a small place where they didn't have any service staff. They ran the front of the house and they waited on every table. Also only like 8 or 9, but the food there was great. They had a whole section devoted to escargot, the snails, in a variety of different ways. But they had things like coq au vin, which you were asking about, that wonderful, basic rustic French hearty bistro dish.
Not on the
of
menu
chicken.
here for some
Yeah,
reason.
chicken in red wine. And sometimes you call these places and say, "Do you do coq au vin?" And they say, "Oh, we'll do it if you give us 24 hours notice, because it's a process and you got
Oh,
to
yeah. All right.
stew the chicken in the wine and all that." But yeah, no, I loved Escargot Bistro. I also, there's a couple places.
But you
on
haven't been
Oak-
back since the new people took over? Because I
No, they
actually,
just
on Let's Eat South Florida, I've seen several people comment about that place. And, it also tweaked my curiosity about the French restaurant and whether or not there are any good ones around and worth going to. And everybody raves about it, says that it's fantastic. And I think that's, with the new ownership involved.
it's hopefully they're maintaining the same standards. It seems to be that way. But some other French restaurants around in Fort Lauderdale. There's Rendezvous Restaurant, which is kind of like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner joint on Oakland Park Boulevard. There's a place called Voulez-Vous Cafe in Wilton Manors.
Sounds
I'm
sexy.
trying to think, like in Fort Lauderdale, it used to be like the Left Bank was Jean Pierre was really renowned,
And there were famous chefs always involved. Very
Yeah,
temperamental, the French
yeah.
chefs. Very temperamental.
They come from that classic brigadier
Oh,
environment.
my God. When
very
they explode,
structured.
it's
Yeah.
over. They're not afraid to ruin the entire seating that's waiting for their food. I mean, just over like the most minor issue. Like
They don't just throw ketchup against the wall. They throw
No.
hollandaise sauce, béarnaise sauce.
I saw a guy throw an
Saule
entire
Meunier,
tray of Maine lobsters, like 5-pound Maine
Oh,
lobsters.
no.
This French chef I was working with in this country club on Long Island, and he got pissed, and next thing you know, boom, man, the whole tray went against the wall. And we were
Yeah.
assembling them because those were the only lobsters that we had left to serve. So we were kind of
So-
like pasting them back together. It was great.
But you're right. Like the classic, really romantic, stuffy, snooty French restaurant is kind of falling out of favor.
Done,
And
huh?
you got more of these little bistro types and cozy places, and they do a nice job. And a lot of them are serving breakfast now. You can go in there and get your classic French
Oh,
omelet
crepes
with some
all over the
croissants.
place. Yeah.
Crepes
I mean,
are all over the
they
place.
feature a
But
lot of crepes
like
here.
a place like up in Boca Raton, the most famous one was La Vieille Maison. For a long time,
Okay.
did just a bang up job. Well, that it ended up closing, and then it got bought and moved a little further down the block by the same people, I think, that own one of the Italian restaurants in town. But they've opened up what's known as La Nouvelle Maison, the new Maison, and it got completely slammed and shredded on Let's Eat a few weeks ago. A woman
Uh-oh.
had just a horrific experience there, where something wasn't good, and they sent it back, and they still charged them for, I think, the not just the dish that they ordered, or maybe they were playing. I don't know. It's one of those fetching tales that, again, you don't expect that to happen at one of these high end places, but.
Seems more common than even the small mom and pop shops.
Yeah, so I guess if you go to La Nouvelle Maison,
So what are you ordering if
buy
you
a
go to
beer.
a French restaurant? What's on the Mayo
French food.
French food? The standard
You didn't like it.
consideration.
It's a dad joke. You don't like the dad jokes. I didn't know. Like, I thought we
Showstopper.
would be having this conversation on Bastille Day on July 14th.
No, I just
and
because
you
we're
hit me
going there
with this
tomorrow.
on
I'm
Sandwich Day.
asking you.
Do I do
well,
any
I mean,
prep work? Do I do? No, I
No,
mean,
you
what
don't
do I?
need any
You're
prep
supposed
What
to
do I do?
know,
Okay,
you're Mike
prep
Mayo.
work is
Yes.
your life. You're Mike
Yes.
Mayo,
I am.
superstar critic. Come on.
I'm
There's
Hello?
no subject we can throw at you that you
making my
shouldn't be able to
bones
address
since you
here
were
on
in
the
high
show.
school.
We
Okay,
talked World
so
Series today. I haven't watched a lick of World Series because we
Right.
do a sports
it
show.
was a
so I
no
can
hitter.
out of my rear.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Pull restaurants out of your rear. Come on.
Okay,
Mike
I will
Mayo.
be able to talk about my French restaurant order in 1 second after we talk about the World Series because I can't watch the World Series when I'm at home because I don't
You know,
get Fox Network. That's one of the things on Dish Network,
It's,
and like they've been
you
in
get
this like
CBS. You get anything?
yeah,
normal,
I've got
conventional?
CBS,
Yeah.
NBC, all the other major networks for some reason, and I get Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2 for
Yes.
racing. I don't get regular Fox. It makes no sense. They've been in this standoff battle with local Channel 7 or the whole network. I don't know what it is.
Can't you
But
change services? I mean,
no,
wouldn't that
I
make
like
sense?
my Dish Network. So, and the
Of
bottom
course,
line
because you don't
is
get anything and you like to fish.
no, but
you don't get
but it's if something's on Fox, I just don't happen to see it. I don't see
All
the
right.
NFC football games.
Why
I
don't you go
don't
down to
see
shenanigans or something?
football.
no,
What's
that's
the
what I
secret?
usually do. If it's a game that I'm really interested in, I'll go to elsewhere to either my friend Scott's or Michelle's or Shenanigans, and I'll check it out
No
there.
wonder
Now-
nobody picks up the phone when you call.
No, but
their television set.
but whose loss is this? Like they don't get ratings for the World Series anymore like they used to because they have these petty squabbles. So a guy like me that would have been prone to tune in to a no hitter in progress last night, I couldn't watch it, so I didn't even know about it until it came across the crawl late at night when I woke up from my nap on the couch after watching a basketball game on
Norm
ESPN.
Kent, we pay tribute to Norm Kent, who apparently came through his surgery okay, and hopefully
Yeah.
he's going to make a nice recovery. But, I mean, he would have loved it. It was so typical of modern-day baseball, where a guy's got a no-hitter in the World Series. Only happened one time in 108 years of World Series play. Don Larson with the perfect game. There was one other postseason no-hitter by Roy Halladay, but that was in one of the divisional playoff series of the championship round. And so here's his second no-hitter in progress, and it looks like it's got a good possibility of happening, but you have to yank the pitcher after 6 innings.
It's so stupid.
And then bring
Like,
in a series of relievers. It was, one of those interesting questions.
No,
But-
it's no question at all. Like the guy's got a lead, he's got a no going. You let him in until he gives up the first hit. You know, what was the score when they yanked him in the?
It was
6th inning?
5-zip.
Yeah, you let him go until he gives up the first hit. That is ridiculous. It's one more reason now I'm glad I don't have Fox and I don't see baseball because I would have been hurling things at the TV. It's like, how could you yank a guy who's working?
But he
a
didn't.
no-no?
He didn't pitch. This guy. It was fairly common for him to be yanked after 6. Or
I don't
7.
care. It's the World Series. He doesn't have to rest for next week. I mean, he's got.
He
one
might
more
pitch
game
Game
left.
7 though.
Yeah,
He might
Fine.
pitch
All
5
right.
innings
So
in
his
Game
pitch
7.
count. Are these guys that delicate? They can't throw 20 more pitches? And like, oh, their paw's gonna hurt, their wing's gonna hurt. Like, no,
But
he's
it's a
got a
different
no
game.
going.
I mean, these
You
guys
let
are
the
throwing-
no go until
The
it's
guy's
gone.
throwing 95 miles an hour.
right,
A
now you've got me
substantial
worked
portion
up.
of the.
Can I get back to
of the
French
time.
food? Because this will make me calmer. I
I like the fact that you're ready like an explosive device. I mean, you say anything, and it's like a fuse with you today, Mike Mayo. What's up with that? Ever since you cleared up your screen, you become especially
more angry.
almost hostile towards the other people on the show. Never mind the audience.
especially after getting a free Starbucks thing, you'd think I'd be just in a great mood all day.
Hey, you were
long.
talking about how wonderful life is, and then all of a sudden you're bitter. I mean, the guy would have thrown 150 pitches. His arm would have been on the ground like an
Who
orangutan.
cares? I want to see him go for a complete game no hitter like Don Larson had a.
Well, they
a
got it
perfect
though.
game.
That was the thing. I mean, so
Well, he didn't get it. It was a team effort. It's like a
modern day
like a relay
qualification.
race.
Yeah.
All right. Look, so they pitched a no hitter, but it boggles my mind how you yank a pitcher in the middle of it who has a 5-0 lead because you're thinking of one more game, like he's going to ruin his arm forever. Like how delicate and fragile that. Okay. Back to French food. So I usually
I'm glad
get
you're
a
not covering
French.
sports anymore. You're out of touch with the modern age thinking. You really
Well,
are.
good. I'm glad. I don't. wanna be
I
in
understand.
touch.
We were saying this morning, if Red Schoendienst came out to the mound and Bob Gibson had a no-hitter going, Red Schoendienst wouldn't have had a nose anymore.
No, they would have. There would have been violence committed upon the manager by.
Imagine Don Drysdale taking Walter
No,
Alston as
I
he
cannot.
came out and said, "Hey, I got to take you out, Donny boy, man. You've already thrown 130 pitches."
I can't even imagine those managers coming out to do such a thing. Can you?
Well, they
imagine
didn't. I
Tom
mean, he
Lasorda?
came in for the 6th inning after he was done. He had the no-hitter, and he
Right.
knew he was finished because he had like 95 pitches or something.
Ugh, so precious. They would enjoy their French.
It was
dinner
still
from the
fun to see,
pantry.
though. I mean, it's only happened once before in baseball history, a no-hitter in the World Series. So I enjoyed it. I really did. I'm sorry you missed it.
French onion soup, probably followed by the sole meunier or the beef bourguignon, or
I would think you would be more adventurous. I mean, what's like the ultimate
you want me to do
French dish?
sweetbreads? I've done
Yeah.
sweetbreads. I've
Oh,
done the
sweetbreads. They don't have it on the menu here.
Escargot, you have to
Valnus.
eat escargot as an appetizer. At least for
No,
me.
I don't have to. I don't love the escargot because escargot that's served is typically from a can or a jar. There's no such thing as fresh
The best,
escargot.
the
Yes.
best interpretation on escargot that I've had, and I'm not a huge escargot guy. I'll eat it, but
Joey.
Joey at Cafe Sedona, I love the
And
way they do that, man. Wow.
Tropical Acres also has a classic rendition of just the butter,
like
garlic served in the
Yeah.
proper dish.
Oh, that's right.
of
We've
the
had that there
escargot.
too. Sure.
It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah. So glad that we associate with sponsors that have the classic escargot. So
Yes.
even if you're not going,
Fortunately,
full-blown
you have integrity
French.
in that area, and you only want to represent the best of the best, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? It's time for our first break, and I'm going to talk about our friends today at Visit Lauderdale, and because we're going to be doing a show next week with Neki Mohan in honor of Veterans Day, and right now the Visit Lauderdale folks in Greater Fort Lauderdale wants to.
I hope I run into
everyone.
those girls at the beach that are featured in the ad.
Oh yeah,
'Cause I'm going to go over to the beach after the show here, and I mean, it's always amazing how they're like 12 hotties just happen to be hanging around there in these commercials. It's great.
Well, yes, and the point is that they welcome everyone under the sun here in Greater Fort Lauderdale, people of all sizes, shapes, and attractiveness, and we welcome everyone under the sun. That means all the foodies out there too, the people who like French food, the people who like sandwiches for Sandwich Day, culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados. Come one, come all. Get ready to savor every flavor and every moment. And you got dockside dining with breathtaking views, lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, award-winning chefs serving every cuisine imaginable. It's a world-class culinary scene awaits. So come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Tell all your friends and family this is the perfect place to come visit for this holiday season and beyond. Winter is here. The weather is getting gorgeous, and you can come and taste and discover all those great restaurants. More than 4,000 area restaurants. You can also explore the thrilling nightlife, things like the craft breweries along the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, hidden speakeasies, rooftop bars, and expert mixologists serving up the greatest in craft cocktails. It's a never-ending culinary celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited, even you, Defo and Lubie, and everybody. So for more information, go to visitlauderdale.com.
Anything that Nicky Mohan's associated with is first class all the way also. All right. More on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Did you finish that sandwich? Did you throw the rest away? What did you do, man? Because the
only
board
done
said
with
roast
half.
beef was good. I got some the other night.
Oh, it's good.
My
This is a
dogs love cold
this-
cuts.
I think this is a properly proportioned sandwich. It's not too big.
Yeah, it looks
It's
a
not
little
gonna
crushed
fill
to
me
me.
up.
I don't know.
I like it, Chinty, but most people say that's
Very disappointing, seeing as you made it yourself.
pretty
All
good.
right, back with
I'll go.
more. Mike Mayo's
Oh.
Lunchbox as he tries to finish this off in a moment.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent. And we're back in high definition on the Lunchbox. Mike Mayo with Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz. Started a little late. We're going to go a little late today, and there is no more late. We have no boundaries. We have little boundaries. Here, this is something that'll warm your heart there, Defo. You got the Gouldens mustard. Those packs
always great, man.
Makes
Even in
you
packets.
reminisce from the Shea Stadium days, hot dogs with the Gouldens mustard.
There was
packs.
nothing like it, man. You could have the crummiest hot dog, and it could be buried in Hudson River water like it was on those old things that the guys used to wear around their neck at Shea when they used to actually pull a dog out, put it on a bun, slap a stick of mustard on it. But the Gouldens made the whole thing happen. I know you're not a fan. You consider Gouldens a little pedestrian, don't you?
No.
Okay.
Come on. You're putting words in my mouth again. I think there's,
I
more
thought you made a
exciting-
face when I mentioned Gouldens mustard one
I
time.
make a face most of the times when you say anything. But it's only because I love you.
Usually because we're insulting you, yeah.
No, we're really throwing the hooks and the needles today. And I think really we're just kind of lashing out at each other, even though it's like Lubie, the ones that we're really have latent hostility towards. No, I love Lubie, and it's okay. He's running around.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have latent hostilities. He's just flat out hostile.
He's shooting me a look. It's all good.
He's mad at the world.
He's
He
mad
thinks
at the
he
world.
got
Well,
dealt a bad hand.
It's not easy when you're buying and selling homes and acting. Now he's freezing. Can you hear us?
I'm
Yeah,
fine.
he's there.
I'm here.
Okay, good. I got a little. Oh no, he's in Japanese Godzilla mode.
Kung Fu mode.
Mouth,
Nice.
his mouth is moving, but the words aren't coming out. All right. During the break, you were ragging on me for the size.
You whittle
of this
that down.
sandwich. Well,
No,
the thing is,
it looks like a sandwich, like if you were in a prison
I
commissary.
pressed it down. It was kind of like my own handmade.
You sat on it.
panini.
What did you do?
Yeah, well, after it comes out of a toaster oven, I want to kind of squish it, so it gets whatever.
It
The
really
bottom
doesn't
line
look
is,
good. It's probably not worth threading
It's
through
a-
the whole show. I mean,
It's
that's
a
the way I
healthy
would-
sandwich. Well, no, I wanted to get into roast beef sandwiches. We're going to be having a great one tomorrow at Seaside Subs
Okay.
up in Deerfield, because not only do they have one of the greatest chicken parms with the vodka sauce, they do this like hot melted roast beef and cheddar sandwich with some beef gravy. It's called the Big Dave.
Okay.
and
Ooh, really?
you'll see what it is. Oh, it's great, and
That's
it's
Your
they
friend
roast.
Ellen wants to go there. Ellen Freed. She
Oh,
wants
Ellen
to
should come on
head up
down,
there,
but
and
they have great. I think they roast their own roast beef, which it's kind of become a dying art. A lot of places just buy the commercial Boar's Head products or whatever, but places like Tom Tanazzini and when he makes his roast beef po' boy with debris, he roasts his own roast beef, and it's great. Our friend Dave at Top Round, where we went a couple of months ago, and
good spot.
he roasts his own top round of beef, and you could get it nice and rare, or you could get it a little more well done, and you got the nice dipping au jus gravy. Places like that, they still exist down here. And I remember up in Boston when I went to college, there was some huge, very famous roast beef joints. One was called Kelly's Roast Beef, and then there was Buzzy's Roast Beef was right next to Boston Garden, where it's very famous. You'd show up in the middle of the night after drinking at the pubs on Beacon Hill, and you'd want a roast beef sandwich, and you'd ask for water, and the guy would say, "The Charles is over there."
Nice.
They didn't like to give out the free cups of water. They would make you go up to the river.
God forbid you should order a seltzer there. You'd really be in trouble. Yeah.
They don't know what seltzer
They'd
is
whack
in
you for
Boston.
10. Yeah.
Those Boston Brahmins, they don't know much about the Jews of Brooklyn and our seltzer consumption. But anyway, and then up in Brooklyn and New York, there's a place called Brennan and Carr, a very famous roast beef joint, and Roland Roaster. But down here, there's a couple places. One that opened up right across the street from Even Keel, which is owned and operated by, I think, Joey Esposito's cousin, and I think it's called Boston Beef or something. I still haven't been in there, and I guess I really should go. But
what about then? What's it called? Broad Shoulder or whatever that is?
oh,
that you
right,
guys were at?
Broad
Yeah.
Shoulders.
Great
Thank
job. They do a
you.
great job, yep.
Thank you. And he's, Tom Azar there is an accomplished chef and used to work for Emeril Lagasse. And he takes care, he cares about quality ingredients. So he roasts his own beef, and he makes that Chicago hot beef sandwich, which became all the rage when that show The Bear was popular streaming this summer. So yeah, they're those roast beef sandwiches are out and about there, and for Sandwich Day, you could obviously.
And you
find...
consider it a different kind of genre there, when you're talking about the hot roast
Yes.
beef and an open face versus
Yes.
just like I used to love getting deli roast beef sandwiches, and I liked them, believe it or not, on an onion roll sometimes. Also, it was very popular on a Kaiser roll, in addition to your various forms of crunchy bread that you tend to favor.
There are very few wrong answers when it comes to roast beef sandwiches, except don't put chopped liver.
What you presented here today, I mean, was you would have failed show and tell.
Well, fine. You want to rag on you yell at me when I eat too much, and now I make myself.
But I mean, the roast
modest
beef
little-
sandwich should be so generously, proportioned with roast beef.
I ran out of time and
It's
materials.
supposed to be thick.
How would it have looked, Defo, if I used up all the roast beef on my own sandwich and left my mother nothing?
It would have looked typical.
That would've been
Would have looked very Mayo-esque, I would have to say.
Hey, can I critique my own sandwich besides you saying that it's a paltry amount of roast beef? Because I
Well,
did
this
something wrong
special sauce that you threw in there, what was
No.
that?
No, here's the thing, Defo. I put a good slice of thick Tillamook sharp cheddar cheese on it.
Okay.
Which is nice. I love the cheddar and roast beef is a classic combination. A lot of times with cheddar and roast beef, people put barbecue sauce on it. And I kind of almost wish I did that.
People put ketchup on roast beef sandwiches.
No,
believe it or not.
that's a crime against humanity. That should not happen.
Lubie does it.
I like ketchup mayonnaise. I like the combo of ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So if this was
Thousand Island also. Thousand Island dressing.
Thousand Island on roast beef is great. Thousand Island on
Ketchup
turkey.
mayonnaise is the same thing. You just have dill or pickle, whatever the hell.
Well, here I got
relish.
my pickle. I got my hot
It's
pickle right
relish.
here.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
You're the
what-
one guy on any form of media that can pull a pickle out of his pocket
it's rare.
and have it
A lot of
be a
guys
food item and literally have it be like
a lot
something
of guys
you
get
can consume.
in trouble these days for
Yeah.
pulling a hot pickle.
Well, that
out of
Tubin
their
guy on
pocket.
CNN, he pulled his pickle out of his pocket, and the next thing you know, he was off the network. Unbelievable.
Hey, killing me.
I
All
haven't
right,
seen
so-
that move before by any host I've ever worked with. Where the guy literally pulled a pickle out on his show out of his pocket.
Maybe and
I've worked with some real goofballs too. I mean, I really have.
Sarni was saying that there's been some big pickleball incident. Speaking of pickles, pickleball has become all the rage, and I didn't. Read the
I don't
story.
understand that for the life of me. It's
No,
a
it must
Cro-Magnon
be-
man sport.
No, but he said there's a Snyder Park pickleball controversy. I got to look into it. Sarni, could you chime in and tell me what
Somebody's
exactly
cheating
is
at
the
pickleball, probably.
Snyder
Which
Park pickleball controversy? And pickleball is basically the poor man's. What is it? It's like for people who just can't cover the range of ground in
people would say it
tennis.
was like tennis, but it really is more like. And this was a great game. I used to love it. Where and you would see it in California and maybe occasionally some certain beaches in New York where they had the paddle tennis on the beach, and it was a small court. And I guess somebody decided, hey, let's make this game that is great really boring and use like a wiffle ball instead, so that it doesn't bounce and that people can just stand there and knock it back and forth like they're playing ping pong, but they're standing on the table. That's what it reminds me of.
I think we should have the return of whirly ball. Did you remember whirly ball?
Whirly ball, yeah, was not my favorite sport, but
I loved it. That's where I
wiffle
met.
ball played the right way. I mean, you were throwing a ball like you were Bob Gibson. I mean, you could make it, rise chin music. You could make it break all over the
Wiffle
place.
ball. I
It
played a
was
lot of
great.
wiffle ball in my driveway with my brother growing up in Brooklyn. But whirly ball, it was a thing. It was a combination of bumper cars with a wiffle ball with
Yeah, it
like
was
a
a stupid game.
shooting at a target. No, but do you know that's where I met Michelle? That's where I met the
Well,
future ex Mrs.
you know.
Mayo. So had that worked
Fortunately, you
out.
had your lovely daughter, and and you're
So
still friends.
it's time for break number 2. And before we get into that, I got to sing the praises of the upcoming Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival.
Yes.
It's coming up right after the holidays in mid-January. And we love it because we're going to be taking part in imbibing and eating and judging at some of the different competitions, including the bar fight, which is going to be a spirited competition among some of the top mixologists around town. That's going to be taking place on January 11th. That is a Wednesday night. And then, of course, we got the poolside barbecue battle at the Hyatt Centric Hotel downtown Fort Lauderdale on the Friday, January 13th, and culminating in the grand tasting at Las Olas Oceanside Park on the 14th. VIP tickets already sold out, but general admission, plenty of seats, tickets remain. All kinds of great food and drink items going to be available at all these events. Plus, next week they're going to be announcing their intimate dinner series, and there's really some good stuff on there. So go to vlfoodwine.com or eventbrite.com and search for Visit Lauderdale Food Wine Festival. Again, vlfoodwine.com, and you can check out the schedule, the participating talent, along with getting all your tickets. It makes a great stocking stuffer for the holidays. Check it out, vlfoodwine.com.
Great event, man, and well run. The people that are behind that are very dedicated, and there were a lot of different things going on. I really enjoyed that barbecue bash, and I think Lubie should be there. If you can't get him a position as a judge, can you get him any kind of guest position or honorary position as a
He'll
judge?
get in there. We'll get him and the Shirley in there. Yeah, the Shirls, the Shirl.
All right, very good.
You
Well, then
and
you can watch Shirley lead him around like Pavlov's dog did. It'll be great.
happy wife, happy life. That's it.
All right, more of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Did you finish the sandwich? You got another pickle?
No,
or a
and I have
rabbit
to.
pull out of
I
your
want to
pocket?
get. I know you're tired of hearing about it, but I wanted to criticize myself, so we'll do that after.
Oh,
the
good.
break.
No, that'll be perfect. Great way to end the show. All right, back with that in a moment.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Yes, I can't speak until I hear that Oliver jingle. Yes, it wouldn't be right. So I always wait. And here we are back
Yeah.
to wrap up a Wednesday edition of the Lunchbox. So here's my self critique on this sandwich because it
Yes.
has the really rich and creaminess, almost fattiness from this beautiful cheddar cheese that's on the roast beef. The mayonnaise almost becomes superfluous. It almost becomes like too much fat, too rich.
Yep.
All this sandwich needs is a little bit of sharpness and acidity from the mustard, whether you use the packets of Defoe's favorite, the Gouldens mustard, or my buddy Scott's beer mustard from Wisconsin. I would have just gone. Next time I would make a cheddar and roast beef sandwich. I'm gonna ditch the mayonnaise because I don't need all that extra fat. Don't need it for the flavor profile. So I myself give the critic gives the chef a failing grade, kind of like not a failing grade, but let's give this sandwich a D. It's a D.
It didn't look particularly appetizing, to tell you the truth. I mean, as the
It hit
saying
the
went in
spot.
the old Wendy's ad, where's the beef, my friend?
Are any
You can't-
veggies? You put like tomato or lettuce on it, or something
If
like
I
that?
had any foresight and bought some vegetables yesterday, I wish I had a tomato in the house. I wish I had an onion in the house. Lately, it seems like every time I buy vegetables, they just sit in their sad little crisper drawer in the fridge, and then 3 weeks later, when they start liquefying, I end up tossing them. So I've stopped.
When there's a
buying
little
them.
tree growing out of the potato,
Yes.
it's time to throw it away. It really
Well,
is.
in this case, it's when the lettuce starts liquefying, it gets a
Yeah.
little dicey. So that's
All right, that's it. Now, where are you off to? Tomorrow at the sandwich place, right?
tomorrow. Seaside Subs. Next week, who knows what next week will bring? And and don't forget, you gotta, we're talking about roast beef and roast beef sandwiches, but for prime rib, you got to go to Tropical Acres. We love our man,
Yeah.
the Studiali family, Tropical Acres. What's today? Wednesday. So is today Wednesday? I've lost track of days.
Today's Thursday,
It's
my friend.
Thursday.
Today
What
NFL
is going?
football,
What
World
is
Series
going on
game
with my
4.
brain? Oh, right. We've
Game
got
5, yeah.
football. Every day is a good day to go to Tropical Acres. It's also a good day to go to Shenanigans because all the sports going on. Go check out Pat Utter and Friends and
Great job,
their
both.
2 locations because great place to check out all the sporting events with great food, especially if you don't get Fox on your home TV. So maybe
Well,
I'll send
and you
that
might get
later.
a no hitter again, maybe back to back, or
I
a
don't even wanna
reverse
see
no hitter
that.
with the Phillies. You
If
don't
they're
want to
gonna
miss
be
all of that.
if they're putting in relievers, I want no part of it.
Bastardize it,
So
yep.
that's it. All right,
Right.
Defo, go get yourself a nice fancy French meal and report back to me on how
Enjoy
the
the
soul.
French
Well, I
meal.
mean, you should try this place. I'm surprised that you've lost all your sophistication because the French thing used to be the thing. And Laval de Loire, I
Laval de
think,
Loire,
is going to be a
de
place I'm going to have to try. Right?
I imagine they have some very good white wines because the Loire Valley is renowned for some of the best whites in the world, and
Yeah.
you're a white wine drinker, so that should please you and the Mustang a lot. So
We'll see. If
Do
they
me
have
a
good
favor.
French Chardonnay, it'd be nice. I mean, it's mostly Pouilly Foussé, if you're talking about French Chardonnays.
okay, well, check it
Yeah.
out. Give me a full report, and then let me know if it's worth me going.
We're going to be
there.
right by there. What are you talking about? Look in the place, Mike Mayo. What happened to you?
You,
used to
you want me to
cruise
eat
restaurants.
another double lunch? I
Yes.
mean, come on, take it easy on me. Oh my gosh.
We want you slobbering down. The hot roast beef sandwich there at Seaside Subs, or the chicken parm, and then going right over to the French place, and then
good. Well-
Casamaya right after that.
Oh, that's a good place. Hey, Sarni is telling me that this pickleball thing that the city wants to allow a private developer to build a 39-court facility on 8 acres of public land. I don't know. Are they going to?
That's it. I'm leaving the United States. Never mind all these Republicans getting elected. I'm leaving.
Critics
over.
are complaining about the constant pop sound of pickleballs. I don't know, but he says there's going to be a restaurant there, so maybe we could get him as a sponsor or do a show there. So,
Be happy. I'll start playing pickleball. Never mind the
yeah, why
tennis.
not?
Picture.
I'll bring
on
the
the knees.
pickles. I'll bring the hot pickles. All
Even
right,
my ankle will
that's
heal up.
that's it for today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. If you can come out tomorrow, everybody in the
Seaside
audience,
Subs.
join us. Seaside Subs in the Cove Shopping Center there in Deerfield Beach. It's going to be a great day. Andrew and Dawn, they do a terrific job. I'm going to eat some good, big, hearty, healthy sandwiches, not like this sad, wimpy one today.
Oh man, that looks bad.
right.
It really does, Michael.
So on this National Sandwich Day, this is Mike Mayo for Jeff Defo DeForest and Mike Lubie Lubitz saying, remember to enjoy every sandwich.